Good morning students. Today we are going to continue the revision with our chapter refraction of light, and today we will start with our first topic of this chapter, that is refraction of light. We will be starting with the definition. What is refraction? Refraction is bending of light rays when it passes from one medium to another. This is known as refraction of light. Refraction is passing of light rays. Suppose this is the interface separating two media. This is medium 1, this is medium 2. The light rays will strike the interface. This is the incident light ray, and when these light ray, they will move in another medium, the light ray will seems bend. Either it will go towards the normal or it will go away from the normal, and this bending of light rays is known as refraction of light. Now this refraction of light, this is a surface phenomena, means the light will strike at the surface, means the interface, the surface separating two media, and the light ray will suffer two procedures over here. One is the refraction, and another thing which happens over here, that is reflection, means partial reflection and partial refraction both are observed at this surface. So refracted ray will move this way and reflected ray that will move this way. So that means this incident light ray, when it falls on a surface which is separating two mediums, means one can be rarer, one can be denser, this can be air, this can be water. When this incident light ray, it will strike onto the face which is separating two medium, it undergoes two phenomena. One is refraction, the light will pass to the another medium and bending of light ray will be observed, and another one, the some of the part of that light ray that will be bounced back in the same medium. So that bouncing back of light, that is reflection, that also is observed over here. Now the question is, why this refraction happens? The refraction, the cause of refraction, it is the difference in the speed of light in different medium. So what is the cause of refraction? Cause of refraction, that is the difference in speed of light in different medium. What it means? In different medium. What it means? Suppose this is air and this is water. So when the light ray will pass from air to water, so the speed of light in air is something else, the speed of light in water is something else, and because of this difference in speed of light in these two medium, the light ray will either bend towards the normal or it will bend away from the normal, and that's why it seems bent. So this will go this way. So this bending of light, or you can say refraction, that is possible because there is a difference in speed of light in different mediums. Okay, so now we are coming on to the observation. What kind of observation we are talking about? Means when we are talking about the phenomena of refraction, what are the observations? What can we able to observe? Basically three things we are able to observe. The first one is, what are the three observations? First one, either the light rays, they will bend towards the normal. I am not explaining these terms, normal, incident ray and reflected ray. I believe all of you are able to remember those terms very well because you are doing since your 7th standard these terms. Okay. Second one, the light rays, they will bend away from the normal. And the third thing which we can observe is, the light rays, they will go undeviated. Now when these observations you are able to observe, first condition, when the light ray is passing from a rarer medium to a denser medium. Rarer we can take example of air, and denser we can take example of water, because water is optically denser as compared to air. So when the light ray is passing from rarer to denser medium, in that situation the speed of light ray decreases and it bends towards the normal. So this first situation is observed when the light rays are coming from rarer to denser medium. due to difference in speed in these two medium, and in the second medium, that is the denser medium, the light ray decreases. That's why the light ray, they will bend towards the normal. This dotted line, that is representing normal. The second thing is when the light rays, they seem to bend away from the normal. In this, we can take this example when the light rays are coming from denser to rarer medium. The reverse case, denser is water and another one is air. When we are observing light rays, they are coming from water to air. In that situation, this is the incident light ray, this is the normal. And in this situation, when the light rays are coming from denser to rarer, the speed of light ray increases, and in this situation, the light ray, they will bend away from the normal. So this is the second scenario. The third one is when the light ray, they will go undeviated. Now in this situation, the thing doesn't matter is whether the light rays are coming from rarer or denser. The thing which matters is the angle of incidence onto the interface, that should be 0. Angle of incidence is 0. That means the light rays, the incident light rays, they should strike normally onto the interface. And when they are striking normally, the light rays, they will go undeviated. This is the third situation which we can observe. So 3 observations which we can read out in the process of refraction. First one, light rays, they will bend towards the normal when they are passing from rarer to denser. The light rays, they will bend away from the normal when the light rays are passing from denser to rarer. And third one, the light rays, they will go undeviated when the light rays, they are striking normally onto the interface. Right? Now next is, what are the laws of refraction? Similar way as you had done for laws of reflection, we have 2 laws of refraction. The first one is the incident ray, the refracted ray, and the normal. They lie in the same plane. All these 3, they lie in same plane. This is first law of refraction. The second one is the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction, that is equal to a constant, and this constant is mu. This is represented this way. This constant is mu. So this is equal to a constant that is represented as mu. So how can we write it down, or how can we understand it better way? Suppose this is your medium 1, this is your medium 2. The light ray comes and strikes onto the interface. So this is normal and this is angle of incidence. The light ray will go this way. This is your angle of refraction. So the refractive index, this mu, this is known as refractive index. This is known as refractive index. So how can we state this refractive index? This refractive index is written as mu to 1. The light ray, when it is going in second medium, that you are writing here, the light ray, when it passes to another medium, that medium you are writing here. The medium from which the light ray is coming, that you are going to write here. Mu to 1. That is refractive index of medium 2 with respect to 1. Refractive index of medium 2 with respect to 1. That is given by sine I upon sine R. Okay, so how can you define refractive index? Refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1 is the ratio of angle of sine of incidence. Sorry, it is defined as the ratio of angle of sine of incidence to the sine of refraction angle, and that is equal to a constant. That constant is known as refractive index. Okay, and this refractive index has no unit because it is the ratio of 2 similar terms, 2 angles, so it has no unit. So this refractive index, again I am saying this is defined as refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1. That is defined as ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction, or you can state it sine of angle of incidence in medium 1 to the sine of angle of refraction in medium 2. You can state it this way also. And this refractive index has no unit. Okay, so this mu generally, that is denoted as mu. This is for second medium, this is for first medium. This is the medium in which the light rays are going after refraction. This is the medium in which the light rays are striking onto the surface. Means incident light rays are present over here and refracted light rays are present over here. Okay, now the next thing is refractive index for a transparent medium, that we need to talk about. Refractive index of a transparent. Now refractive index of transparent medium, when we are talking about, so generally we are saying, when we are saying about refractive index, we are talking about speed of light in air and speed of light in medium. We are defining refractive index in these terms also. How are we defining it? Refractive index is also given as the ratio of speed of light in air, that is c, to the ratio of speed of light to the speed of light in medium. This can be any other medium other than your air or vacuum. Okay, so this refractive index is given as the ratio of speed of light in air to the speed of light in medium. This is also one of the form in which we can define refractive index. Okay, now this refractive index is always greater than 1 for transparent medium. For transparent medium, this refractive index is always greater than 1. What is the reason behind that? Suppose I am talking about water, that is a transparent medium. Why refractive index for water is always greater than 1? Because the speed of light in air is maximum, that is 3 into 10 raised to the power 8 meter second inverse. Whatever is the speed in any of the medium, that is always less than the speed of light in air. Say in, अगर मैं water की बात करूं और मैं बोलूं यहाँ पर speed 10 raised to the power 8 है, so that means the speed of light in water is always less than speed of light in air. जो भी answer आएगा that is greater than 1. So this is happening in all the situations. The speed of light in air is maximum. Whatever is the speed of light in medium, that is always less than the speed of light in air. So always we are getting answer in the form of greater than 1 for all the transparent medium. So that's why we are saying refractive index is always greater than 1 for transparent medium. Beta, please read out this content from your book also, because maximum time you are going to get a 1 mark question from these kind of statements. So please don't leave it. One more kind of question can be framed out of this only. What can be the statement? The refractive index of diamond is 2.41. What is the meaning of this statement? These kind of questions can be there. Okay, so how can you find out what is the meaning of this statement? You can simply write this as the refractive index for diamond. So we are aware refractive index is given by C by V. Refractive index for diamond is given as 2.41. That is equal to speed of light. You can write it this way. Speed of light in air divided by speed of light in medium. V is speed of light in medium. So what can you write now? You can write 2.41 into speed of light in medium is equal to speed of light in air. And this is what you are supposed to state. You are not going to write it down in this form. You are going to state it in words. How can you state? The meaning of this statement is the refractive index of diamond is 2.41. The meaning of this statement is the speed of light in air is 2.41 times the speed of light in medium. Which medium we are talking about? Diamond. So whatever medium is given to you, that you can write over here. For this particular question, you can write diamond here. So you can state the speed of light in air is 2.41 times, multiply है ना, तो it is times the speed of light in diamond. This is how you can solve these kind of questions which will be given to you. Many questions are there. You can practice it from your book as well as from other sources, from wherever you can get these kind of questions. Now next thing which we can study is, that is conditions for the light rays to pass undeviated. When we are talking about the light rays are going from one medium to another medium, maximum times we are saying the light ray is passing and it is bending towards the normal or away from the normal. So, but what is the condition when the light rays, they will go undeviated? Two conditions are there. First, the angle of incidence should be 0. That means the light rays, they should strike normally. कहाँ strike करना चाहिए? On interface. This is one condition. Okay, in this situation the light rays, they will go undeviated. Fine. The second one is, if the refractive index of both the mediums will be same, then this can be possible. So refractive index of both mediums are same. In this situation, what is possible? If both the refractive index are same, that means the speed of light in both the mediums is same, and if the speed of light is same, in that situation the light will go undeviated. So two conditions in which the light ray that will go undeviated when it passes from one medium to another, that is one, the angle of incidence should be 0, means the light ray that should strike normally, and second is the refractive index of both the mediums is 0. In that situation also the light rays, they will go undeviated, because in that situation the speed of light is same in both the mediums. Fine. Now coming on to the next one is what we can discuss now for our revision. The next topic is, due to this refraction, when we are talking about this phenomena of refraction, due to this refraction, what will be the effect on the speed of light, on the frequency, and on the wavelength of light? So what can I talk about? I can talk about you can say, we can talk about refraction effects of refraction, or we can talk about refraction effects. Effects are in three forms. One, in the form of speed, how the speed of light changes. So this is already what we discussed. This is if the light ray is going from rarer to denser medium, what will happen? The light ray, they will bend towards the normal, but this is not the effect on the speed. मैं तो यहाँ पर ये बात कर रही हूँ, what will be the effect on speed? When the light rays are bending towards the normal, the speed of light decreases. The speed of light decreases. That means if the light ray is traveling from rarer to denser medium, the speed of light ray decreases, and vice versa. And vice versa means what? If the light ray are traveling from denser to rarer, the speed of light increases, and vice versa. Okay, this is one thing. What will be the effect of refraction on speed of light? Okay, second thing, we can talk about frequency. What will be the effect on the frequency of light? There is no effect on the frequency of light due to refraction. The reason being is the frequency depends on the source of light which is producing that. It will not dependent on the speed of light. It will not depend on in which medium it is going and it is coming from which medium. The frequency depends only and only on the source which is producing it. So that means there is no effect on frequency when we are talking about refraction of light. If light undergoes refraction, the frequency of light that will remain same. अगर वो पहले 250 हर्ट्ज था तो वो अभी भी 250 हर्ट्ज रहेगा आफ्टर रिफ्लेक्शन ऑल्सो, बिकॉज द फ्रीक्वेंसी डिपेंड्स ऑन द सोर्स ऑफ लाइट विच इज प्रोड्यूसिंग इट. It will not dependent on any medium, any speed, anything else. Fine. The third thing which we can study is that is wavelength. How wavelength of light will be affected. Okay. So when we are talking about wavelength of light and refraction, so how this can be affected? As speed decreases, you need to remember it beta, as speed decreases, wavelength also decreases. Okay, and vice versa, you can remember anyway. So what will be the effect? I am saying from rarer to denser medium, the speed of light decreases. The speed of light decreases. That means wavelength also decreases. Means what can we conclude? If the light ray is coming from rarer to denser medium, the wavelength of light decreases. If the light ray is going from denser to rarer medium, the wavelength of light increases because the speed increases. So speed and wavelength, they are directly related to each other. If speed decreases, wavelength also decreases. If speed increases, wavelength also increases. Now what else we can discuss about wavelength beta? What will be the change in wavelength? How can we state it in terms of relation? How can we relate it with speed of light in air, with speed of light in medium? How can we relate? Suppose lambda is the wavelength of light in air, okay, and c is the speed of light in air, and f is the frequency of light in air. This is when we are talking about light in air. And what will be the another aspect? Lambda dash, that will be the wavelength when the light is traveling in medium, any medium. It can be refracted to any medium. And v is the speed of light in that medium. So that is V is speed of light in medium, and frequency, as I told you, that will remain same whether it is going in air or it is going in any other medium. So frequency will be F, and this is in medium. So according to one relation, I believe all of you remember, F C is equal to, sorry, just a minute. This is C is equal to lambda F. You can write this. Fine. Speed is equal to wavelength into frequency. For this one, what can you write? Speed is equal to lambda dash F. Okay. From here, just find out the value of F, that is C upon lambda. From here again, find out the value of F, that is V upon lambda dash. Okay. These two are similar, equal. So these right hand sides can also be equated. So you can write C upon lambda is equal to V upon lambda dash. And from here you can calculate lambda dash will be given as what? That will be given as V upon C into lambda. So this is the change in wavelength which you can state in terms of speed of light in air, in speed of light in medium, and wavelength of light in air. So if somebody is going to ask you to find out the ratio between the wavelength of particular light in air and in medium, you can use this relation. You can write it this way: lambda dash upon lambda is equal to V upon C. So you can find out the comparison between these two. Fine. Okay, now coming on to the next one, what are the factors affecting refractive index? But in this chapter, lot many factors affecting are there. You may get confused, but if you will understand these factors, definitely you are able to learn these factors. So please try to understand these, then you can easily learn and correlate these things. Okay, so we are talking about factors affecting refractive index. Factors affecting refractive index. The first factor is optical density. Optical density means what, beta? More will be the optical density. More optical density means more refractive index. If optical density is more, the refractive index is also more. Means if the medium is denser medium, then refractive index is also more. If I am talking about air and water, water is the denser medium, so the refractive index of water is more as compared to air. Okay, and vice versa. If optical density is less, the refractive index is also less. Coming on to the second one is, that is temperature. So when we are talking about temperature, the speed of light increases with the increase in temperature. If I will increase the temperature, the speed of light also increases. When the speed of light increases, in the previous section only we did, the speed of light increases, the refractive index decreases. If the speed increases, the refractive index decreases, because speed and refractive index, or you can say wavelength and refractive index, they are inversely proportional to each other. I can write here so that you can remember, refractive index and wavelength, they are inversely proportional to each other. And wavelength and speed are directly proportional. So more will be the speed, more will be the wavelength, lesser will be the refractive index. Okay. So from here, third one, we can relate from here only color or wavelength. So this is what I told you here, color and wavelength. More will be the speed, more will be the wavelength, and lesser will be the refractive index. That means refractive index is inversely proportional to wavelength, and wavelength is dependent on color. For a particular color, we have a particular amount of wavelength, particular value of wavelength. Okay, so from here what can you say? The wavelength of red is maximum. That means the refractive index of red is minimum. The wavelength of violet is minimum, and refractive index, wavelength of violet is minimum, and refractive index of violet is maximum. So you can say refractive index of violet is greater than refractive index of red. ये ऐसे वाले क्वेश्चंस बेटा 1 मार्क के लिए बहुत आते हैं, सो प्लीज रीड आउट दीज फैक्टर्स very carefully. 3 factors we have. First is optical density, more optical density, more refractive index. Second is temperature. Temperature means more will be the speed of light. If the temperature increases, more will be the speed of light, lesser will be the refractive index. Wavelength or color. Refractive index is inversely proportional to the wavelength. More will be the wavelength, lesser will be the refractive index, and hence we can say refractive index of violet is greater than the refractive index of red. Okay, this is all about refractive index beta ji. Now coming on to one new term, that is principle of reversibility of light. That is also the part of our syllabus, but a little introduction about that. What it says, principle of reversibility of light, as the name is suggesting. Means light rays are retracing their path when they are traveling from one medium to another and coming back from that same medium to the first one. How I can explain it? Suppose this is the light ray and this is going from medium 1 to 2, and this is the path which it is following, OA, and then it goes, I can make it little bent, OA, this is normal, and then it goes here, this is AC. That means the path which this light ray is following, that is OA and AC, when it is going from medium 1 to 2. According to principle of reversibility of light, the light rays are retracing their path. How they can retrace? When the light rays are coming from 2 to 1, then what will happen? When the light rays are coming from 2 to 1, they are following the same path. Now this ray will become the incident ray, means it is coming via CA and OA, and this will become the refracted ray. How can we talk about refractive index this time? This is I and this is R. So according to second law of refraction, what we are saying, refractive index of second with respect to 1 is sin I upon sin R. Okay, when it is going from medium 1 to 2, that is equal to sin I upon sin R. But what happens when it coming from medium 2 to 1? In that situation we are talking about जहाँ आती है, जिस मीडियम में लाइट रे रिफ्लेक्ट होने के बाद आती है, वो हम यहाँ लिखते हैं. तो रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स ऑफ 1 with respect to 2, because now the light rays are coming this way, so that is equal to जिसमें से आ रही है पहले वो वाला एंगल, that is sin R, अपॉन जिसमें जा रही है फिर वो वाला एंगल, that is sin I. When you are multiplying these two equations, equation number 1 and 2, you will be getting mu 2 1 into mu 1 2 is equal to sin I upon sin R into sin R upon sin I. That means it will be equal to 1. So what can we say from here? We can say beta ji, we can say this mu 2 1 is equal to 1 upon mu 1 2. Okay, or you can write mu 2 1 into mu 1 2 is equal to 1. Refractive index, the multiplication of the refractive index of both the mediums will be 1, or the refractive index of second with respect to 1 is inversely proportional, is equal to 1 upon refractive index of 1 with respect to 2. अब इसको जरा थोड़ा कोई मीडियम का एग्जाम्पल लेकर कर लेते हैं, so that it will be more clear to you. Suppose I am saying this is air and this is glass. The light rays are going from air to glass. So refractive index of the medium in which it is going, glass, with respect to air, okay, that is equal to 1 upon, यहाँ पर क्या होगा, reverse, 1 upon mu refractive index of air with respect to glass. Means जितना भी glass का refractive index होगा, air का refractive index उसका 1 upon करके लिखेंगे आप, ठीक है. If refractive index of glass is 3/4, if refractive index of glass is 3/4 with respect to air, so refractive index of air कितना हो जाएगा, इसका reverse, that is equal to 4/3. Getting it? So this is how you can use principle of reversibility of light. Fine. The next thing is, but I am just quickly taking up all the topics because this is your revision, and earlier I believe we have done via PDFs and all the notes with this chapter. So I wish that I can go through all the topics quickly and you can have a video with you to revise upon all these topics. Now coming on to the next one, that is refraction through glass slab. This is not a new topic for you. This is just the revision of the previous one which you have done in your junior classes. This is the incident light ray. When we are talking about refraction through glass slab, it is striking over here. This is air and this medium is glass. So when light ray is coming from air to glass, it will bend towards the normal. Okay, then again it strikes over here, and when it is coming from glass to air back, it will move away from the normal. Okay, when you will extend this incident ray, you will come to know that this emergent ray, this is known as emergent ray, and this is known as extended incident ray. These two rays are parallel to each other. Okay, these two rays, they are parallel to each other when you will observe refraction through glass slab. Okay, and the distance, which distance? The perpendicular distance. The perpendicular distance of what? The perpendicular distance between the emergent ray and extended incident ray, that is known as lateral displacement. This is known as lateral डिस्प्लेसमेंट. लेटरल डिस्प्लेसमेंट का मतलब लेटरली ये रे आपकी जानी तो यहाँ चाहिए थी, क्योंकि रिफ्लेक्शन हो गया तो ये शिफ्ट करके यहाँ आ गई है. एंड दिस परपेंडिकुलर डिस्टेंस इज द मेजर ऑफ द लेटरल डिस्प्लेसमेंट. आप इस लाइन को मेजर करेंगे, इट इज 2 सेंटीमीटर 3 सेंटीमीटर, तो दैट विल काउंट फॉर योर लेटरल डिस्प्लेसमेंट. Okay, so now when we are talking about this lateral displacement, so we should talk about the factors affecting lateral displacement too. What are the factors affecting lateral displacement? The factors affecting lateral displacement are, the first one is thickness of glass slab. Thickness of glass slab. More will be the thickness, more will be the lateral displacement. Thickness means not this way कि glass slab ऐसे कितना thick है, not that way. Beta, this is your glass slab. So thickness does not means this one. Thickness means this particular area. So please remember, thickness का मतलब आप इससे नहीं लगाएंगे. This is known as your thickness over here. So more will be the thickness, more will be the lateral displacement, right? The second one is, the second factor which is affecting this, that is angle of incidence at which the ray is striking over here. This is angle of incidence, the angle between incident ray and normal. More will be the angle of incidence, again more will be the lateral displacement. जितना आपका angle of incidence का वैल्यू बढ़ता जाएगा उतना ज़्यादा आपकी ray bend होगी and more will be the lateral displacement. The third one is the refractive index. More will be the refractive index. More will be the refractive index means more will be the optical density. अभी हमने किया है. More will be the optical density. If refractive index is more, optical density will be more, and if more will be the optical density, there will be more shift in the ray for the refracted region. Like if the ray is coming this way, अगर इसका optical density बढ़ जाता है तो ये ray और ज़्यादा bend होगी, और ज़्यादा bend होगी तो यहाँ आएगी and then it comes out this way. So this lateral displacement also increases. So more will be the optical density, more will be the lateral displacement. This is all about your lateral displacement. And one more topic is there in your book, that is multiple reflection. When your a thick glass plate is acting as a mirror. That topic we have done last year also. I think there is no need to revise that. If still you are facing any doubt in that, so you can ask anytime, beta ji. So now we are continuing with our second part, that is refraction through prism. Now we are starting with refraction through prism. This is your prism. This angle between two refracting surfaces, that is known as angle of prism. Suppose this is your prism beta, ये आपका prism होता है. So ये जो आपका angle बनता है, this one, this is known as your angle of prism. ये आपका prism हमेशा जब भी आप practical करते हो, you need to keep it this way. आपको इसको ऐसे रखना पड़ता है, ऐसे नहीं रखते हो आप इसको. ठीक है, ये जो रेक्टेंगुलर पोर्शन है ये आप नीचे नहीं रखते हो, यू आर कीपिंग इट दिस वे, आप इसको ऐसे रखते हैं, एंड देन यू आर गोइंग टू ऑब्जर्व थ्रू दीज 3 1 2 एंड दीज 3, दीज आर योर रिफ्लेक्टिंग surfaces, okay, so you are going to observe it from here, okay. This is known as your angle of prism. This is incident ray, it is striking at angle I. After reflection it will bend towards the normal because it is moving from air to glass, so it is moving towards the normal. This is angle of refraction R1. At this phase again it is refracted as it is going from glass to air, and it is moving away from the normal now as it is moving from denser to rarer medium. So this is your emergent ray. This angle is angle of emergence. This is your second refraction angle, the second refracted angle, this one. This is your R2, okay. And this angle is angle of deviation, okay. This deviation that is equal to these two interior angles, sum of these two interior angles. So this is your exterior opposite angle, that is equal to the sum of your interior opposite angles. I believe maths में आपने ये पढ़ा होगा बड़े अच्छे से. This is you need to remember only, you need not to do any derivation for these. Derivations are not the part of your syllabus, though it is given in your book beta, but you are not supposed to do any derivation from chapter number 4. These are not the part of your syllabus. This is just to make you understand the things, not to learn, not to revise these things again and again. बस एक बार उसको पढ़ लीजिए if you wish, otherwise you can directly remember it from here. This delta is equal to R1 plus R2. One more relation which you need to remember is angle of incidence plus angle of emergence, that is equal to your angle of prism plus angle of deviation. Angle of incidence plus angle of emergence is equal to angle of prism plus angle of deviation, okay. But in one situation, when your angle of deviation is minimum, in that situation your angle of incidence and angle of emergence is equal. In that situation this equation turns to be angle I is equal to angle E, so you can write I plus I is equal to A plus delta. Delta is deviation, and if I am saying this is minimum deviation, in that situation this is possible only. So this is 2I is equal to A plus delta minimum. So this is the situation when we are talking about minimum deviation. For minimum deviation this is the equation. Otherwise for simple you can say incidence angles and emergence angles, you can talk about this equation I plus E is equal to A plus delta. Now this angle of deviation, it depends on few of the factors. What are these factors? The first one is material of prism. Material of prism means we are talking about refractive index. More will be the refractive index, more will be the deviation, because the things the rays they will slows down. Slows down means more is the bending towards the normal, or more bending hogi to that means more will be the deviation. So more will be the refractive index, more will be the deviation. Second one is angle of prism. More will be the angle of prism, again more will be the deviation. No derivation, no formula is to be learned as per your syllabus. You just directly remember that more will be the angle of prism, more will be the angle of deviation. Third one is wavelength. As we have done right now in this video only, this refractive index is inversely proportional to wavelength. Then and this refractive index is directly proportional to deviation. अभी हमने बोला refractive index is directly proportional to deviation. So from these two you can talk about the refractive index is inversely proportional to wavelength. Means more will be the wavelength, lesser will be the deviation. और ये आपने वैसे भी ऑब्जर्व किया होगा, जब भी आपने डायग्राम बनाया है बेटा जी प्रिज्म का, तो आप ऐसे बनाते हो, दिस इज व्हाइट लाइट, ठीक है. उसके बाद आप ऐसे रेज बनाते हो 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 फॉर ऑल द 7 कलर्स, एंड यू आर राइटिंग V I B G Y O R. सो R आपका टॉप पर होता है, जिसका वेवलेंथ मैक्सिमम है उसका डेविएशन लीस्ट हुआ है, जिसका वेवलेंथ सबसे कम है उसका डेविएशन सबसे ज्यादा हुआ है, वो सबसे ज्यादा नीचे आ गया डेविएट करके. सो दिस रिलेशन इज करेक्ट. More will be the wavelength, lesser will be the deviation, less will be the wavelength, more will be the deviation. So you can remember it from this diagram also, but you have to remember this relation also, because in exam if it will be asked you have to state it. The last factor on which this angle of deviation depends, that is angle of incidence. That we need to study in little detail, that's why I am doing it at the end. It is not directly, not indirectly, it shows actually two kinds of variation. Angle of deviation and angle of incidence. How these two are related. Okay, for this we need to draw a graph. Okay, What are we drawing in this graph? We are talking about deviation angle here, and we are talking about angle of incidence here. And when we have drawn the graph after observing the values for different angles from the prism, after performing the practicals, after performing the experiments, we observed this kind of curve. Okay. Now according to this kind of curve, what can we learn? We can learn with the increase in angle of incidence, the angle of deviation decreases. With the increase in angle of incidence, the angle of deviation decreases and comes to a minimum value. And this minimum value is known as delta minimum, means minimum deviation. Okay, once it attains a minimum deviation, after that if you will keep on increasing the value of angle of incidence, the angle of deviation increases. Now the angle of deviation increases. So how can you write? You can write initially with the increase in angle of incidence, the angle of deviation decreases and attains a minimum value, that is minimum deviation, which I have shown over here. Okay, for this value of angle of incidence. After that, if angle of incidence increases, the angle of deviation also increases. Instead of decreasing, now it's increasing. Okay, so this is how you can study the relation between deviation and angle of incidence. And the equation which you have written there ना, a plus delta is equal to I plus E, ये कैसे लिखा है बच्चे आपने? ये देखिए, सपोज आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंस, ये मेरा एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंस है आई, ठीक है, इसके लिए ये एक डेल्टा की वैल्यू है, बट इसी डेल्टा की वैल्यू पर एक और भी तो यहाँ पर शो हो रहा है मुझे. सो व्हाट इट इज रिप्रेजेंटिंग योर एंगल ऑफ इमरजेंस. So this is what we are writing in this equation. ये आपका एंगल ऑफ इमरजेंस है. Means for one value of deviation, this one, ये कुछ भी वैल्यू हो सकता है, 20, 30, 40, 50, anything. For one value of deviation, we are getting two angles on this incident ray. ये two angles क्या है? One is representing, पहले वाला आपका एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंस रिप्रेजेंट करता है, और सेकंड आपका एंगल ऑफ इमरजेंस रिप्रेजेंट करता है. In case of minimum deviation, ये देखिए यहाँ पर दो वैल्यूज नहीं आ रही, सिर्फ एक ही आ रही है. Your I and E that will become equal. इसीलिए मैंने अभी आपको पहले क्या लिखकर बताया था, in case of minimum deviation, A plus delta minimum is equal to I plus I, that is equal to 2I. वो मैंने इसके लिए लिखा था बेटा जी. Are you understanding it? I believe you are able to get it. This is a graph between delta minimum, angle of deviation and incidence. The shape should be correct. ये graph paper में भी पूछा जा चुका है. Two things you need to take care while drawing the graph as usual, which I keep on telling you. One, you need to mark the axis, on which axis you are drawing which thing, and second, the shape of the graph that should be appropriate. Otherwise, you are not going to get the marks. Fine. So what you are supposed to do now, you are supposed to read out your part A and part B of chapter number 4. Whatever problems you are going to face, please post it for me. We will discuss all these problems in our doubt sessions. Fine. Thank you and have a nice day.